What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Randy and I make videos on entrepreneurship. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Yeezy sneaker mask. And I know this doesn't sound like it has anything to do with entrepreneurship. However, it actually does, because as you guys know, there is a pandemic going around right now and a lot of people want to wear masks to feel like they're protected from it. However, there is a shortage in the market, and if there is masks out there, they're being sold for ridiculous prices. So what a lot of people are doing now is they're at home making their own paper towel masks. They're making them out of t-shirts, bandanas, and a lot of other things. And I noticed that an old video of mine when I used to be a sneaker channel was getting a lot of hype, and that was around these sneaker masks that I have right here. If you guys go look at my older videos, you guys will see that I have a bunch of these videos where I basically showcase these masks. However, I never showed you guys how to make them. Today I figured it'd be the perfect opportunity to show you guys how to make them. That way, in case you guys do want a mask, you guys can have a cool looking one if you guys are into Yeezys, because I know these hype things, they do sell for a lot of money, which is originally my plan was to sell them back in the day before this whole pandemic started. However, I never found an efficient way to make them, and I didn't have the time to make them and sell them. So I feel like if you guys don't have a job right now, if you're looking for an extra way to make some money, I figured I might as well show you guys how to make these, and you guys can potentially sell them, find an efficient way to make them, or even come out with something better. So with all that being said, I do want to say that I'm doing a giveaway. So out of these two sneakers, I'm going to be making a mask out of one, which I'm going to be giving away. And then I'm also going to give away the other sneaker. That way, one of you guys can make a mask of your own. All you have to do to join is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your Instagram handle down below, which is just your @ name. Which in this case, mine would be YT_stacks. Free plug right there if you guys want to follow me. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the actual video and let's get into the things that you will need. The very first thing you're gonna need is obviously gonna be your pair of Yeezys. Well, you're not gonna need both, you're gonna need just one. And the size that I recommend you guys to get is anything from size 9 and above. For all the masks that I've made, I've used size 8. However, that might end up coming up a little small, especially when you're first starting off. You're gonna be making cuts, and size 8 is very little room to work with. So the bigger the size, the more room you have to work with, and this leaves you room for error. The next thing you're gonna need is some scissors or an X-Acto knife, or even both. I recommend having both to make it easier. However, if you're on a budget, you can use a pair of scissors to go faster, or you can get away with an X-Acto knife, which will be more precise. However, it might take you a little longer. And obviously, to put the mask together, you're gonna need nylon thread and a set of needles, unless you can just buy one, but usually they come in a set. However, if you want to take this to the next level, you can go ahead and get a sewing machine, which I will not be using in this video. I'm doing it all by hand, but you're gonna need these special needles for the machine, which it's not even showing. You guys will know if you do your research. And last but not least, these things are optional. You can use a thread cutter, which is these little small scissors. It just gets more precise. And you can also use a lighter, which is optional. However, this is gonna help with sealing the nylon cord. You're gonna have to burn the tips. That way it kind of seals the tips and they don't get undone. And if you want, you can also use a heat gun to get a way cleaner finish, which is what I normally use. However, for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna be using it just because it will make this video too long, but I will tell you guys what you need to use it on to get that cleaner finish. Anyways, with all that out the way, let's get into the actual making of the mask. So for the rest of the video, I'm actually gonna have to turn the light down a little bit. That way you guys can see a sneaker. The first thing you wanna do is take off the laces of the sneaker, which I already went ahead and did. Put those aside because you will be using that later. That will be your strap to put around your ears and hold it to your face. Then you wanna go ahead and take out the insole. You will not be needing that. So now you wanna go ahead and grab your scissors or your X-Acto knife. But however I said, when you have both, it's gonna make it a lot easier. So in this case, I'm gonna be using the X-Acto knife to start my cut. I'm gonna cut it as close to the base as possible on here and go all the way around until I get to the other side, and the upper completely comes off from the sole. Now if you have scissors, you can do the same exact thing. However, getting that initial cut might be a little difficult. You're gonna have to like bend apart or kind of like snip in there. And I do have really high quality scissors, so it's a lot easier for me to do it. However, if you're using those pair of scissors that you found in the kitchen drawer, it might be a little more difficult, but I'm sure you can get it done. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and just use the X-Acto knife to get the initial cut, and then I'm gonna use the scissors for the rest. Now don't worry if the cut looks all messy, we're gonna go ahead and clean that up later. But when you get back here, it's gonna be a little difficult because you have this secondary like padding, and it's a lot easier to use your scissors there, which is what I'm gonna do now. So once you completely cut the upper from the bottom, toss that because we won't be needing that anymore. Now what you want to do is get this heel tab out the way, so we got to go ahead and remove it. And for that, it would be very helpful to have an X-Acto knife, but you can always start with the scissors. You just got to pull back and get in there, get the thread. You can always go ahead and use a razor as well, but that's why I say the X-Acto knife is highly recommended to do little jobs like this. So once you have it pulled back, put the razor in there, the tension and the sharpness of the knife will go ahead and start to cut the thread off. You can go ahead and pull it, but you got to be careful because you don't want to lift the thread of the sneaker up. Once you separated one side of the heel tab, you want to go ahead and do the same for the other side. However, you're going to have this thread left over, and you're going to want to just go ahead and peel it off. You could use tweezers for this, however, it's pretty easy to do with your hand. And if you have stubborn ones that won't come out, just like this one, I'm trying to pull as hard as possible. It's stuck somewhere in there, so we can go ahead and just use our nice little thread cutter and cut to the base as close as possible. So once you're done with this heel tab, you can go ahead and toss that as well, because we only need the uppers. Once you got the heel tab out the way, now we want to go ahead and cut down the middle of the stitching and separate the left side from the right side. And all you have to do for this is grab your scissors and get it down the middle as possible and just start cutting. You can also use an X-Acto knife for this. However, it might be hard to do that. It's actually kind of hard to do alone with the scissors. And once we get done with this step, which this shouldn't really take long at all you gotta do is take that threading that was down the middle off, and that's when the heat gun will come into hand, because this threading is actually stuck in between this cushion and the material on top, and it's glued in between really well. So you can try to pull them off like this, which it could work, but in the end, to get that clean finish, you want to go ahead and take this off. But if you're going to be selling these, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and take that extra mile and take this off. So now ideally what you would want to do with the heat gun, since you already started using it right here, you would want to go ahead and take the size tag off. If you want to, you don't have to, that one's kind of optional. But what I do recommend is taking this part off. So you got to use the heat gun to release the glue in between this material. I don't even know what it is. It's very weird, but it's meant to keep the sneaker up when it's on your foot, and the material on top. What I would do to start is heat up the corners and peel it off, but like I said, for the sake of this video, I'm not using it and I'm gonna leave it on. But it does make it difficult when you go to sew, because you're trying to sew through this material and it makes it very difficult to get the needle through because this is very thick. Let's say you got the heat gun and you took this off along with the size tag. Now what you wanna do is go ahead, fold it in half, and you wanna make a cut straight down, right in between the second and the third hole. And to get a precise, clean, even cut, I would go ahead and grab the laces and put them through the holes, and that will hold the sneaker perfectly in half and in place, and you'll get a symmetrical cut. You can go ahead and get a straight edge and a pencil and write it down, or you can go ahead and wing it like I want to do, which is what I normally do. And there you guys have it, a nice straight even cut right down the middle. Now you can go ahead and take the laces off, because you're not going to need that until the end when you put the mask together and go to put it on your face. So once you have the sneaker, you're gonna have these two separate pieces. This is fine, you're basically done with this. Now you gotta perfect this real quick. And what I would do is, if you had already taken this off with a glue gun, you'll be able to see the glue around it. And I have another pair of Yeezys here that I've cut in the past, and that's the size that you want it. You want to cut it around the glue mark that was already there, and you want it nice and smooth edges, and you want to end up with this in particular. And from here on out, I'm actually going to continue with the Beluga 2.0, which means that I'll actually be giving this away. So once you got this cut out nice and round, you want to go ahead and attach it to this with the thread and the needle. And you want to start off by sewing this. This is simple. You want to sew this from the top to bottom, and then maybe again one more time up, just like that. Luckily my nylon thread came with a gray one, which I'll be using that, and I have a variety of size of needles, and I'll be using probably the longest one or the shortest one, because it's actually easier to use and maneuver. So once you got the needle through the thread, you want to go ahead and tie a knot here, make a little ball. Go ahead and probably knot it twice or 3 times. You want to make sure they overlap. You want to make sure the first knot overlaps with the second knot, and make it a decently sized ball so the thread doesn't fall through. If you have a machine to do this, it makes it a lot easier, because with the machine you can separate it exactly how you want it and stuff like that. I personally am no professional, so I just kind of wing it. And if you're not really trying to do this in a big manner, then I would wing it too. But if you're really trying to sell them, I would recommend you get a machine, because it will look way more professional. If you guys are doing this by hand, I recommend you guys go on YouTube and do tutorials on how to sew and how to start it and how to finish it, because this will help you definitely get a nicer finish in the end. So as you can see, I went ahead and threaded it. We separated it, it won't separate. And what you want to do now is, once you finish that final knot, go ahead and cut it off. And I know I still have this thread, which I have to knot off as well, but before I go ahead and do that, this is what it's supposed to look like at this point. You just fold it over and you have the front of the mask completely done. And you guys see these little balls, like I said, where it's threaded. You can go ahead and get that lighter, burn the tip, and it'll burn it all together. But you want to be careful and not burn the actual mask, because that'll screw up your whole project. Now what you want to do, which is the most difficult part, and we're almost done here, is to connect the bottom to the top. And you're going to do it the same exact way inside out. And you want to make sure that everything aligns perfectly. So you have the threading right there as a guide, and the middle of the mask as a guide as well. Go ahead and place it on top and start threading just like that, because after everything is done, you go ahead and flip it inside out and you're gonna have your mask. And you want to start off with making a knot here and just follow along the edge. Well, it's not gonna stick out like that, right? But you want it to lay down perfectly which is why I said this part's very difficult, but you want to thread it just like that. You see how it's laying right now? I have the other part curved, and then you'll have your mask all connected. And a little trick, if the thread doesn't go through, grab it upward like this and grab your scissors and cut it just like that. And that way you'll have a nice little point that you can easily put right through your thread. So once you sewed one side together, if you flip it over, you can see we almost have the whole mask done, but that's basically what it looks like. And you want to go ahead and attach the other side, and at the end, your end result is going to look just like this. If you guys want to take an extra step and make the mask cleaner, you can go ahead and fold it, and you see right here where this part hangs out, you can go ahead and cut that. Make sure it rounds out nice, and you're gonna get this finishing result right here. But if you guys are fine with it and you guys are fine with that look where it sticks out, it's up to you, whatever you want to do with it. I personally recommend cutting it off and making it nice and sleek, just like this one. And then with the shoelaces, you can do whatever you want with it. I did this exact design. If you guys want to go ahead and copy it, I'm not going to show you guys how to do that because it's pretty simple. You guys can go ahead and play with it. And what you want to do after, go ahead and put it over your face, tie a knot in the back like you're tying a sneaker, and then boom, you have yourself a Yeezy mask. If you guys want to go ahead and get detailed with it, like I said, you get the heat gun, get very precise with it, get very clean with it. I didn't really use the heat gun on this one, but I did on the last one that I showed you guys, which you guys saw looks very clean. The difference, you don't have all this extra material on the bottom. But anyway, guys, like I said, I'm going to be giving away this right here along with the shoelace, which is right over here, and this sneaker to 2 different people. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your Instagram handle down below, and I will be in contact with you guys. I will select it at a random time and contact you, whoever the winners are. I'll probably put the live on my Instagram so you guys can see I'm not faking it. It's not even like crazy things to rig. So with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and also turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss out on any future videos. And I know this channel isn't for sneakerheads or hypebeasts or anything like that anymore, but it is meant for entrepreneurs. And if you guys can find a way to scale this and make a good business out of it, I promise you guys will make a decent amount of money off of it. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I will see you guys on the next one.